Welcome, everyone. A huge, warm welcome to our globally diverse participants joining from Africa, Canada, the Caribbean, Asia, and everywhere in between for today's UnityNet Dawn Call. We've got a fantastic explainer lined up for you this Thursday, August 6, 2026, diving into the core of relational ethical AI. We're going to be tracing a really critical shift in how we think about technology. We are moving beyond the basic promise of digital inclusion and aiming straight for the much deeper, essential goal of true digital sovereignty.
Before we get into the weeds of systems and tech, let's ground ourselves in today's date. August 6th is the International Day of Awareness of the Special Development Needs and Challenges of Landlocked Developing Countries. So we're taking a moment to honor the geographic diversity of everyone on this call. Look, geography can absolutely restrict physical access to markets and infrastructure. And while digital tools can help communities bridge some of those physical gaps, our shared UnityNet framework reminds us of one foundational truth: relationship always has to come before structure.
Now, there's absolutely no denying the massive transformative promise of digital inclusion. When it's deployed ethically, connectivity opens up vital doors to education and information. It makes remote employment and micro-enterprises possible. It allows for incredible communication across vast geographic isolation and grants access to crucial markets and public services. For refugees, youth, rural communities, and landlocked nations, these digital tools can literally be a lifeline. But, as we're going to see, just being handed a lifeline isn't the whole story.
So let's get right to the central caution of today's explainer. Access is not ownership. Having connectivity is a great start, right? But it's absolutely not the same thing as governing the network. Getting digital training is fantastic, but it's not the same as actually owning the equipment, designing the curriculum, or controlling the economic pathway. Landing platform work isn't automatically dignified employment. Simply using open-source software doesn't magically equal community control. And perhaps most crucially, contributing your data definitely does not mean you're sharing in the value produced from it.
This brings us to a massive, central dawn question I want us to sit with for a second. When does digital inclusion become genuine community empowerment, and when does it just pull more people into systems that extract their labor, their stories, their cultural knowledge, or their ecological data? In the UnityNet framework, we actually refer to this extractive model as digital colonialism 2.0. It's where human life and experience are just harvested by proprietary algorithms and sold back as intelligence. It mirrors historical patterns of extraction just updated for the digital age.
To picture this, let's look at two contrasting real-world scenarios. On one side, imagine a refugee-led or community-led technology hub. This is a space that actively develops local skills, local livelihoods, and trains local leaders. On the other side, picture a massive global sustainability data platform. Sure, it might make valuable information widely available, but it entirely relies on categories, priorities, and ownership structures created far, far away from the community it's actually observing. Now, both can provide value, for sure, but they present vastly different long-term power dynamics for the communities involved.
And to really unpack those power dynamics, we've got to ask some essential governance questions. Let's run through these quickly because they are literally the difference between a community being a passive data subject and an empowered sovereign data landlord. You have to ask, who actually owns the devices and the infrastructure? Who chooses the curriculum being taught? Who owns the resulting data? Who holds the power to refuse or withdraw participation at any point? Who receives the economic value generated? And maybe the biggest one, who has the moral and legal authority when the technology gets it wrong?
All of those questions point straight back to our core UnityNet and Dawn principles. Dignity before data. It's such a powerful phrase, and it perfectly captures the guest in the circle doctrine. Technology is brought into a community as a guest, a witness, or a helper. It is never the governing master. The AI always has to remain subordinate to human judgment and cultural protocols. The community always has to remain the author of its own future.
When we map this out, we can see a clear evolution of digital empowerment. It starts at the baseline with digital inclusion, which is really just entering a system. Then, we step up to digital ownership, which means possessing meaningful rights, actual infrastructure, and having a real stake in economic participation. But the ultimate goal? That's digital sovereignty. That is where a community retains absolute authority over their digital footprint, permitted uses, governance, and that incredibly crucial right of refusal.
Now, let's be totally realistic here. We know that complete local ownership of every single piece of technology might not be possible on day one, and that's okay. The practical goal here is progressive local capability. It's about building accountable partnerships, relying on meaningful relational consent, and consistently increasing community control over time. We're not after universal, top-down, cookie-cutter solutions. We're looking to build local, grounded trust.
So, before we wrap up this explainer and head into the rest of the Zoom call, I want to leave you with a provocative question to carry with you. Think about this. What must a community own or control before a digital initiative can honestly, truly be called community-led?
As you hold on to that thought, let's ground ourselves in the reality of what we're actually building together here. Think of it like this. Connectivity can open a door.
Skills can help people walk through that door. Education and capability are absolutely vital.
But here's the crucial pivot. Ownership determines who actually holds the keys to that door.
And governance. Governance determines who decides where that door leads in the first place.
Digital inclusion matters deeply. We all know that. But inclusion without ownership can so quickly become dependency. And access without ongoing relational consent can easily become just another form of extraction.
Technology may assist the community, but it must not become its landlord, its narrator, or its governing authority. Thanks for walking through this explainer with me. As we transition into the relational ethical AI call, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. How will you ensure your technology remains a guest, and not a landlord, in the communities you serve?